A massive leap could be coming for New York Knicks rookie Tyler Kolek, while also Jalen Brunson has given an update on his hand injury, and both of these could have a big-time effect on Tom Thibodeau's rotations. So we're going to break all this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. No ads today. We're going to jump right into the video. So, guys, Tyler Kolek has been grinding in these workouts with none other than world-renowned trainer Chris Brickley, who started out as Carmelo Anthony's trainer and has worked his way up into being the biggest, most well-known NBA trainer in the game right now. And Chris Brickley said about Tyler Kolek that just all this work that he's putting in is clearly having a great effect. And I have to lean in to read it because the writing is small. But he said the combination of elite scoring and passing for Tyler Kolek to being one of the best point guards in college basketball last year, I think the upcoming season, he'll be even more valuable than anyone could have predicted. Honestly, guys, I completely agree with Chris Brickley on that statement. I think people are underrating how good Tyler Kolek is. But there is more to talk about with this situation with Tyler. Look, the Knicks drafted him 34th overall, but valued him as a first-round pick. They were going to pick him in the first round, but realized they could get away with picking him in the second round and wanted to pay him less money. Now, Kolek did sign the most lucrative deal of any second-round rookie of all time, but he was also the 34th pick in the most recent draft, meaning that's not that surprising, especially for a guy who's already 23 years old. Not too shocking. He's still only making $2 million this season. It's not like they're giving him some major money like he's supposed to be some world stopper for them. No, Tyler Kolek is a phenomenal player, or at least he was in college, and I think he's going to continue to be a great player into the NBA. Now, it might not happen instantly, but it is going to eventually happen. Now, as Fred Katz mentioned, he said that he imagines Kolek sits at the end of the bench for most of this season, and eventually he'll receive a chance. Tom Thibodeau is a massive fan of Tyler Kolek and was pushing for the Knicks to draft him in the first place, but similar to Deuce McBride, who the Knicks drafted in the second round a few years ago, it could take some time before he gets that chance. Now, it is what it is. That's not surprising. Again, he's a second-round pick. What we do like to see is the fact that Kolek was balling out in the Summer League, especially when it came to his passing. In 5 games, he is 6th all-time in Knicks Summer League all-time assists. First is Nate Robinson, who Kolek has already gotten more than half of, but Nate played in 16 games. It's 11 more games than behind is Tony Douglas in 9 games. The only person to do it in the same amount of games and have more assists than Kolek is Immanuel Quickley, who now is a starting point guard on the Toronto Raptors and is someone who many people should be picking as a potential most improved player, though it's going to somehow go to Wemby despite the fact that he was the first overall pick, and watching him make a year 1 to year 2 jump that's going to be phenomenal is not too shocking, but whatever. It is what it is. Immanuel Quickley is obviously a great player. It sucked to lose him, though it maybe was the right move since he was never going to get that starting job here that he did deserve, and the Knicks got a great player in return in OG Anunoby who's going to help them win. But we all know that. Right now, the Knicks do have Tyler Kolek, but they also have Cameron Payne and Deuce McBride. Now, McBride, the Knicks do not really fancy as a point guard. They think of him more as a shooting guard who's a little undersized, more of a combo guard who's there to spot up, hit threes, and play great defense. I agree. I think that's Deuce's role. He's actually got some good shot creating. You could tell that it's improved a lot throughout the course of his NBA career. I'm excited to see Deuce play, but it is going to come at the extent of we're probably not going to see that much of Tyler Kolek this season. He'll probably spend some time in the G League just so he's not sitting, rotting on the bench, so we can stay loose, stay ready, stay in rhythm, all that, which I think is the exact right move to make. You had a bunch of rookies who are later picks. The Knicks are a contending team. They're not going to go out there and play their rookies. Like, Pacome Dadier is not going to play this season. He's going to be in the G League. Ariel Huckporty and Kevin McCullough are on 2-way contracts. They're not going to play this season. They're going to be in the G League. Kolek is the only one with a chance to see. He's going to see the most NBA minutes out of anyone because the Knicks also have 10 million forwards anyway, or just 10 million wings and forwards. So it's one of those situations where there's just no chance that Tyler Kolek is going to see consistent minutes, but it's not going to be anything like Pacome Dadier, who's not going to see minutes. So there is that to be a fan of, but also something to be a fan of is the fact that Jalen Brunson has revealed the update on his hand injury, and guys, it is good news. Mark Jackson had Jalen Brunson on his YouTube show, And when he asked, how's the hand, is it 100%, Brunson said the hand's good. We'll see around the first game of the season, see if it's ready to go or not. Brunson obviously being modest. The hand is fine. He's had it out of the cast for a while now. After Brunson hurt his hand and got surgery on it, which was almost directly after the season ended, he was supposed to be reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks. That was in the middle part of May, so it's been 6 to 8 weeks. So Brunson apparently is either going through the reevaluation process right now or has recently gone through it. And guess what? There's been no news, and no news is good news, especially with an injury. If you haven't heard an update, especially over the offseason, that is. Over the regular season, it's the opposite. You don't see news, you get terrified, especially by the Knicks. But over the offseason, no news means that Brunson is probably just 100% fine. His hand's probably good to go. He's ready to get back to doing his thing on the court and being one of the best players in the NBA, which is huge news. And Brunson's had one crazy offseason. Now, we are going to break down a little bit more of Brunson's actual goings-on and stuff. But for right now, we do need to talk about the wild offseason that Jalen Brunson has been having. First things first, Tom Brady was on Brunson's podcast, Brunson and Hart's The Roommates podcast, because they did a Fanatics Roundtable. And Brady said that winning the Super Bowl is a whole other thing. It's probably like getting to the NBA Finals. It's hard to get there, and once you get there, you really got to compete. And talking to Brunson and Hart, he said, I have a feeling you're going to get there. So not only did the greatest football player in history say, and the most decorated athlete in American sports history, say that he believes in the Knicks making the finals, which is funny considering that he's mainly known as a Patriot who, share a city with the Celtics. So I'd love to see Tom Brady just, saying Tom Brady things. Also cool of him to get roasted, but the coolest thing Tom Brady ever did was be on TED 2. I'm not going to lie, because that movie is hilarious. But that's also not the point. Fred Katz talked about Jalen Brunson a lot and said there's a world where Brunson's scoring dips this season, and not because he's got any worse over the summer. The Knicks just don't have more mouths to feed than they did during their season of attrition. They also have more skill across the perimeter. They could show off more looks that they couldn't in 23-24, and that begins with the biggest addition of the offseason in Mikal Bridges. But it's not just Bridges. It's the fact that Randall is back and healthy. It's the fact that OG Anunoby will now be back in rhythm and not coming off multiple injuries all the time. This is very good for the Knicks. You don't want Jalen Brunson to have to dominate the ball and have this insane usage rate. It's bad for him. We want him to have a lower usage rate, and I don't care if it means Brunson's not going to put up these numbers that he put up last season. Last season, Brunson put up 28.7 points per game with 3.6 assists and 6.7, or 3.6 rebounds and 6.7 assists, while shooting 47% or 48% from the field, 40% from deep. I cannot speak right now, guys. And also did a lot of that work within the arc, only shooting 31% of his shots as threes, and a lot of them were unassisted. Brunson's a phenomenal shot creator. He's one of the best scorers in basketball. There's a reason why he was the best scorer in the playoffs and almost into the NBA Finals, had the most points scored in the playoffs. There's a reason why Brunson put up 60 points in a game against the Spurs, simply just to try to win that game, which the Knicks did not win. But it's one of those situations where Jalen Brunson, we all know the deal with him. We all know how phenomenal of a player he is. But coming off of a hand injury, I wouldn't mind if his usage shrinks. I just think it's good for him. I mean, it's a long season. The Knicks are looking at themselves as a team that's going to win the NBA Finals, or is at least going to do anything they can to get there. To do that, you have to rest to a degree. You have to be very calculated with everything. Look at how the Spurs started load management. They were the ones who started load management, and it got them 5 championships in, 14 years? Like, it worked. Look at Kawhi doing load management on the Raptors. It worked. Look at LeBron strategically taking games off throughout his career or coasting in the regular season and then making the finals for 8 straight years. It worked. Having a deep team is going to help. Having other shot creators, guys who can really run an offense or at least just dominate the ball to a degree in Julius Randle, in Mikal Bridges, even Dante DiVincenzo now as a 6th man in a new role. It's going to help Jalen Brunson, and if he scores less, I don't care. I think it is better if he has a lower usage rate, especially coming off of a hand injury. So I think this is good for the Knicks. I think everything here is a good sign. Also, maybe injuries come around, which you don't want to happen, but then we'll see some Kolek action, stuff like that. Or maybe Tyler Kolek will just keep playing really well in practice. Tibbs will give him a chance, and then Kolek will ball out. Who knows? The mantra that Tibbs doesn't like rookies is not nearly as true as people like to say it is, though it does have some truth to it, obviously. But at the end of the day, I'm a big fan of Tyler Kolek and a bigger fan of Jalen Brunson. So, guys, let me know what you think below. Predict in the comments how many points per game Jalen Brunson is going to average this year. I'm going to say 26. I think Julius will be somewhere around 22, and then the third leading scorer will probably be Mikhail at like 17, 16 and a half, and then probably DiVincenzo and Anunoby behind them. But let me know in the comments down below, guys. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Do it for the Jalen Brunson DoorDash bobblehead. See, he's got his old DoorDash bag. He's delivering food. And that's his right hand. He's sacrificing ball, the fractured hand. He's holding the basketball. He's holding your food with the right hand. That's not funny. I'm trying to be funny, guys. I don't know. You know, go Knicks.